Coco Gauff dominates Wuhan Open. Insane match against Uchijima Moyuka. The afternoon air in Wuhan was thick with humidity and expectation. Thousands of tennis fans filled the seats of the Optics Valley International Tennis Center, waving flags, fanning themselves, and buzzing with energy that only a Coco Gauff match can generate. On the other side of the net stood Japan's rising star, Uchijima Moyuka, whose recent surge on the WTA Tour had made her a quiet but dangerous contender. Few expected what would unfold. A fiery, pulsating clash that would test both players' nerves, stamina, and spirit. By the end of the match, one thing was undeniable. Coco Gauff didn't just win, she conquered. A new day in Wuhan. Gauff walked into the Wuhan Open with a mission, having recently endured a few turbulent weeks on the Asian swing, where heat fatigue and media scrutiny followed her every step. The 21-year-old American superstar was determined to reclaim her dominance. "I feel like I've been playing catch-up lately," she told reporters before the tournament began. "But when I step on court, I know who I am. That doesn't change." From the moment she entered the court in her signature New Balance lavender outfit, her composure was palpable. Her headphones were on, eyes focused straight ahead, her stride slow but deliberate. The walk of someone who knows the next 2 hours could define a chapter of their career. Uchijima, on the other hand, looked serene yet deadly. Ranked just outside the top 30, the Japanese player had quietly defeated 2 seeded players earlier in the week. She wasn't there to be anyone's stepping stone. She got that calm fire, tennis commentator Rennie Stubbs said before the match. Don't let her soft voice fool you. She can punch holes through any game plan. The first set, control fire. The first set opened with precision and nerves. Gauff served first, landing an ace at 189 kilometers per hour that drew a roar from the crowd. Her trademark athleticism and quickness were on full display as she took control early, using deep forehands to push Uchijima off the baseline. But the Japanese player refused to be rattled. She absorbed Coco's pace beautifully, redirecting shots with surprising sharpness. At 2-2, Uchijima broke serve with a stunning cross-court backhand winner that kissed the line. The crowd gasped. Even Gauff gave a little smile, a silent acknowledgement of brilliance. The set turned into a battle of wills. Every rally was an essay in endurance. Both players ran side to side, sliding, countering, and refusing to blink first. Gauff's coach, Brad Gilbert, stood courtside, gesturing animatedly, reminding her to stay patient, trust the rally. Then came the turning point. At 4-4, 30-40, Gauff faced a break point. Uchijima attacked her second serve with a blistering forehand down the line, but Coco lunged, somehow flicking it back deep into the corner. The rally extended to 18 shots. The final ball? A Gauff forehand winner that painted the sideline. She raised her fist. The crowd erupted. Moments later, Gauff broke Uchijima to take the set 6-4. Between sets, the storm brews. As she sat during the changeover, Gauff covered her face with a towel, exhaling deeply. The heat index had climbed above 33 degrees Celsius. Sweat dripped down her arms, staining the towel. She took slow sips of electrolyte water, eyes never leaving her coach. Gilbert mouthed, "You're in control." But somewhere in the stands, a different energy was forming. The Japanese supporters, quiet but loyal, began chanting Ukijima's name in unison. The sound spread like a wave, lifting the young challenger's confidence. The second set, Uchijima strikes back. Uchijima came alive in the second set. Her footwork sharpened, her serve gained bite, and her anticipation became laser-like. She broke Gauff in the very first game, hitting 2 return winners that left even Coco clapping in disbelief. "She's reading me," Gauff muttered to herself, walking back to the baseline. Uchijima continued to dictate the pace, mixing looping topspin with sudden flat drives. Gauff tried to respond with aggression, but her unforced errors began to creep in. By 3-0, the match had turned on its head. The crowd sensed a shift. The once electric arena fell into a tense silence, the kind that only a real battle can bring. For the first time all week, Coco looked human, breathing heavier, wiping her arms, and occasionally shaking her head. Then came one of the points of the tournament. At 3-1, 30-30, Gauff chased a drop shot, barely reached it, and flicked a backhand cross-court. Uchijima sprinted forward, slicing it back. Gauff leapt, hitting a running forehand down the line, only for Uchijima to counter with a lob that landed just inside the baseline. The rally lasted 23 shots. When Uchijima finally took the point with a delicate volley winner, the crowd stood on their feet. Even Gauff smiled. "That was crazy," she said later with a laugh. "Sometimes you just clap your hands and move on." Uchijima sealed the second set 6-3. We were heading to a decider. The final set, the making of a champion. Under the blazing Wuhan sun, both players returned to the court with ice towels wrapped around their necks. The physical toll was obvious, but the mental war was just beginning. From the first game, Gauff's eyes told the story. Focused, furious, determined, she started attacking earlier, stepping inside the baseline and taking control of rallies. Her forehand, once criticized for inconsistency, became her weapon. Every shot carried intention. Every grunt carried belief. At 2-1, she broke Uchijima with a roaring inside-out forehand that sent the crowd into delirium. Gauff let out a primal scream, fists clenched, eyes blazing toward her box. But Uchijima refused to fade. Down 3-1, she saved 3 break points in a game that lasted nearly 10 minutes. The legacy of a match. Tennis is filled with numbers. Aces, unforced errors, winners, break points. But sometimes what defines a match isn't on the stat sheet. It's the sweat, the belief, the way two athletes push each other to the edge. That's what Coco Gauff versus Uchijima Moyuka became. A duel not of dominance, but of endurance and character. It's one of those matches you don't forget, said ESPN commentator Mary Jo Fernandez. You could feel every heartbeat, every ounce of effort. The Wuhan crowd agreed. As they left the stadium, many stopped by the souvenir stands, buying T-shirts emblazoned with the words Wuhan Open 2025, Field of Fire. Epilogue, the woman behind the warrior. Later that evening, long after the cameras stopped rolling, Gauff was spotted near the players' lounge, hoodie up, phone in hand, quietly FaceTiming her family. Her mother's voice echoed faintly, "We're proud of you, baby." Coco smiled. "I know, Mom. I just wanted to make sure I still made it fun." That's Coco Gauff. Fierce on the court, humble off it. A star who continues to evolve, not just as a player, but as a person. In Wuhan, she didn't just dominate. She redefined what dominance looks like. Grace under fire, joy in battle, and strength in vulnerability. Final score. Coco Gauff def. Uchijima Moyuka. 6-4, 3-6, 6-3. Match duration, 2 hours, 27 minutes winner's quote. "Every time I fight through moments like this, I remember this is what I was born to do." In Wuhan, Coco Gauff didn't just win a tennis match. She reminded the world that greatness isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.